Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Enterprise, Season 4, Episode 11, The Observer Effect. Now, before I get into this episode, the Observer Effect, like the actual Observer Effect, is really interesting to me. Like, I think it's a fascinating concept. If you guys don't know, it's basically like you cannot watch something without affecting what you're watching. And I mean, it goes all the way back to like Jane Goodall watching the gorillas and stuff like that. Like, it's impossible to watch something and observe it without, in effect, affecting it. Like, it's a great theory, and I absolutely love it. That being said, this episode is absolute shit. Like, I cannot get behind it. For the most part, you can obviously tell, like, it is a bottle episode, because there's no new sets, there's no guest stars, there's nothing. It's just, basically, it's just Malcolm and Mayweather wandering around the ship. Like, that's it. And it's so bad. It's so boring. I looked it up to try to get more information about it. And even then, I'm just like, oh, I got nothing. So from here, it's Malcolm and Mayweather where they're possessed and they're like playing chess and stuff and they're super intelligent. And it turns out that they're possessed by the Oregonans. I don't even know how you say their name. And even then, like, I don't know if they even said that in this episode or you're just supposed to know it. If they said it in this episode, I had already tuned out by that point, to be honest with you. The only reason that's interesting is because in the original series used non-corporeal aliens like every other episode. That's my biggest complaint about the original series is Kirk every other episode is like, oh, it's a non-corporeal alien that we can't do anything about, and then they're just going to leave. And at one point in the episode, The Errand of Mercy, which, to be honest, I'll be 100% honest, I had to go back and rewatch my own review because I couldn't remember the episode. It's the first episode with Klingons in it. And in that episode, Klingons are like trying to take over this planet, and the species that they're trying to take over finally get sick of Kirk and Kor fighting, and they like take over. And they're like, you know what? No, we're done. Stop. And it turns out that they're Oregonans, or however you say that species. And, well, anyways, that species is the same as this one from the episode that we're currently watching, The Observer Effect. And they have possessed Malcolm and Mayweather, and they're just kind of going around, and, like, Trip and Hoshi have basically been contaminated with this highly contagious silicon-based virus. And they're like, evidently this species contaminates a bunch of other species, including Cardassians, which get a shout out. And they're like, let's see how they deal with it. And big surprise, humans react as nobody else has. And so they're like, you know what? We're going to heal your people, even though they've died. We're going to heal them, and then we'll make first contact later on. And they even say, they're like, maybe in 5,000 years, human beings will be ready. Well, in 100 years, you encounter Kirk, so clearly you're full of shit. And just, I don't know. I could not get past this episode. Just watching Malcolm and Mayweather do their little pop-ups of, like, knowing everything. And then even Hoshi and Trip, when they're, like, in the, like, the sex room, the room where they're, like, always oiling each other down. And even then, Phlox is like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I could not get behind this one. So, for those who have seen it, like, did you make the connection between this and The Errand of Mercy? What did you guys think? Go ahead, let me know. And I will see you guys next time for another 3-part episode of Babel 1, United, and Enar.